The American writer Mark Twain noted that when he was a riverboat captain, he saw with very different eyes than his passengers. Whilst they enjoyed framed pictures of the passing landscape through windows, he observed the ripples on the water's surface. Alert to markers of unfolding potential, he looked for signs of undercurrents, while steering the steamboat along the river. Feet shod and feet bare, how do they experience the ground? What would worlds perceived through feet look like? How do walking bodies grasp the turbulence they set in motion? How do the webs of significance woven by sedentary perception differ from those woven by the embodied experience of pedestrian movement? It all begins with a walk. Two people, unbeknownst to each other, plunge into the current of everyday life, walking side by side. Walking along in a city leaves no visible trace. It is as if we just skim a surface prepared for us. What happens when a body brushes against air? What kind of turbulence do we set in motion? What new terrain opens up? The path trodden as we ponder these questions radiate out from a core, the place where the dance is, and a warp of threads. Held only by gravity, the warp responds to the body's every move and reveals fugitive presences, profound and absolutely ordinary, slushing the surface. Traversing a 20-minute radius from the core, we, a stranger and I, walk along the streets repeatedly throughout October 2016. We set out in order to make a map made of random acts of kindness, acts we are about to witness. We explore the notion of kindness as a technology as well as an emotion. We gather material in order to map spaces in new sensory registers, like a geography of kindness. We wonder if such geographies were to spread like ripples beyond their source, might they leak out into the wider world? Kindness, a witnessing of human contacts that release unwanted tensions, a momentary suspension of planned time, a still life popping up out of the ordinary, a collision of lives, a being in something with another, a being pulled into a place you did not intend to go, part of a chain of action that is always reaction, a sharing of vulnerability, a sense of being connected, a moment of vitality, an unexpected encounter. Four months later, no trace is left of our presence. Streets, like traditional maps, exist independently of being looked at. At the turn of the new lunar solar year, the city takes a pause. The streets are empty stages. On re-entering them, echoes of conversations that had wound their way down the spiraling passage of my inner ear commingle with my now embodied imagination. A meshwork made up of memorized impacts ripples, whilst nudging toward new vistas. The scent of a tree that met us as we turned a corner. An old, rusty bicycle, its saddle protected with a plastic bag. A house, a villa with a sign saying it is a kindergarten. The edge of a pavement sloping down to street level. Whilst waiting at a traffic light, peripheral vision beckoned to the left, where an elderly couple walked hand in hand. That's cute, not kindness. Walking ahead of us, a man supported a woman struggling to keep upright, whilst pushing her wheelchair. That's not kindness, it's social obligation. A rental bike. The spot in the middle of the road where the traffic policeman patiently explained to a woman, we know not what, but it took a long time, and without his guidance, the traffic was building up. And he just carried on attending to the need of the woman, quietly, calmly. A conversation, a shared walk to the core, the place where the dance is. In giving testimony to that which co-scripts futures, we shelter threats drone from the air. At this corner, we saw two people pondering over a map. Is one of them responding to a stranger's question about directions? Or are they a couple deciding where to go next? A solar panel on a parking meter. A food stall, now closed for the holiday, then spreading out into the street, providing seating for customers who had bought a complete meal with meat and rice and vegetables, all for only 10 yuan. In an affluent neighborhood where many people in low-paid jobs work. This is kindness, don't you think? Someone held this door open for a delivery man. Here a man smiled at us whilst passing. Along this cycle lane, a security guard pulled an old lady's shopping trolley. And once again, an elderly couple. A woman pushed a man across this road. He was sitting in a wheelchair. That's love, not kindness. At this junction, I was told pedestrians are given a better view because the buildings and walls converging here have no pointed corners. They have not been chopped off, they just haven't been built. And here, a raised voice in a quiet street. A man delivering food could not locate an address. A couple just about to drive off in their car got out and helped him. Chatter and laughter echoed down the street. 25 walks, 73 encounters with kindness, 8 directions. I scan for fugitive presences, scan again and again for what is nascent. I wait for it. I attend to it. I recall futures beckoning, good, confident futures. Echoes of their song ring along lines trodden and lines traced. Something made by a craftsman. Last October, empty chairs had been lined up outside this printing equipment shop. A quiet, shady spot. On this street, peripheral vision alerted me once again. 2 bicycles met in the middle of the road. A young man handed something to a young woman. They cycled off in opposite directions. Here, my companion walker noticed a woman smiling at us as we crossed paths. There are empty crates now, where a few months ago a man approached a stall with no customers. He began a banter with a salesman, and suddenly there was a surge. People were drawn to the stall. Next to this tree, a woman massaged another woman's neck. They were waiting outside the building, waiting for it to open. Here, a car slowed down as we crossed the road. And here, a scooter did not hoot as a bike got into its way. And once again, time taken out, time shared. This formula, consisting of walks, fields of attention, and environments, causes the formation of a bloom space. The locations that hosted acts of kindness, hitherto undeclared yet consequential, became ripples animating a map that mirrors the space where the dance is. It is a first tentative step toward mapping intensities registered in passing. Like an apprentice captain on a steamboat, our close observations in the street accumulate into a body of experience, as together we learn to negotiate, to read and write dispositions of flows, swirls and ripples, markers of unfolding potential, and moments that energize our affective landscape.
因为在一个滑滑梯上面有很多人，他们都不讲道理，都随便自己滑，也不注意别人。经常有小孩子像他那样小的小弟弟受伤，所以呢，他也就不敢下去。我就安慰他，他哭得越来越厉害，我就下去叫他妈妈上来。他妈妈说他不能上来，我跟他说他可以上来的，所以他就上来安慰孩子了。
What happens in the process of giving this world a gesture? What happens when we share these gestures of air through relating the occurrence? When we read with our feet, listen to the breath, watch it choreograph the dance of a finger, see it weaving a relational net. At the place where the dance is, the flow of writing has been slowed down. We read by following lines at the point of conception. In anticipating their meaning, we encounter ourselves. We linger in this close proximity of life. Currents of time, time memorized, time experienced, time recalled, lunar solar time, time pregnant with futures. 73 acts of kindness looked for, observed, spoken, written. What matters here is not meaning. What matters now is a construction, a making of flesh, an embodiment of pastness, a giving testimony of the present. It is only by accrual that bodies in flow become a dramatic force.